So I just got done watching a video by Garrett Spencer, and I was like, dude, I got to do a response video to this because it's right up my alley. But he was talking about some of his favorite racing games. You know I love my racing games. I mean, I did that whole video that was just racing games on the Master System. And, you know, Professor Cornelius did the one about Steeplechase because, you know, I'm all about those horse racing games too, even though most of the recent ones have been crap. But there's such a huge plethora of racing games. Like, what constitutes it? You've got all these subgenres, like your car combat games like Twisted Metal, or your kart racing games like Mario Kart, or the Sonic All-Star racing games. You've got things like, like the hovercraft games like Wipeout, or something like Sonic Riders, which, is that a racing game, or is that a surfing game? They're like hoverboards. I'm not sure where that one even fits. So you've got all these games. So I just figured, Garrett did 3 of them, 3 games. Can I get my fingers straight here? 3 games, and then he had his one honorable mention because you gotta have that honorable mention. So I figured that's what I'm gonna do, and I decided to break it down to 3 racing games that really mean a lot to me, and then one that not so much, but it's my honorable mention because it's a game nobody seems to talk about, and it's freaking awesome. So let's go. First up is, I had an NES growing up. I never got the Super Nintendo or any of that stuff. This was my system until I was like 18, well into the early 2000s. So I really only had one racing game. It's what gave me the love of this genre, and that is RC Pro-Am. And as a kid, I could not figure out how to do like the whole isometric view. I would lose every race, and I didn't care because this game was just so much fun to play. It actually wasn't until the Christmas that my mother got me Snake, Rattle, and Roll, another game, not racing, but it had that isometric view that I figured out, oh, this is how you control it, and was able to come back and really kick some ass at this game. Which is weird that a non-racing game would help me get better at a racing game. So, my next game, my buddy Sean. Not Sean from the Navy, Sean that lived across the street from me. Growing up in Milwaukee, he used to bring his PlayStation over to my place in the summer, and him and my nephew would play games. And most of them, he is a big car guy, so he had a lot of racing games. Like, the only non-racing game I think we played was, I believe, Mortal Kombat Trilogy. But then it was like Ridge Racer Type 4, which I freaking loved. That got me into Ridge Racer. Ridge Racer could be its own video on its own. That's part of why I didn't include any of those. That's kind of a love it or hate it series, and I love it. And he had one of the Need for Speeds. I think it was Hot Pursuit. Apparently I cannot speak. That was another one that we played. Twisted Metal 2 was probably the game we played the most. And the second most played game we had was this one. Very unique because it's not cars, it's boats, and that is Hydro Thunder. This is one you don't hear people talk about. It's a boat racing game. Going back and playing it now, doesn't quite hold up like I remember it, but it's still a blast. It definitely needs a remake. I believe they did a remake back in the Xbox 360 days, but I've never played that one. But yeah, if you've never played Hydro Thunder, it's definitely worth checking out because you don't see boat racing games, and it's definitely very arcadey. It's got sort of a Mario Kart feel in that there are like hidden passageways through some of the levels and everything. I didn't know that. I remember we were playing a game and I was finally winning for once, and all of a sudden here comes Sean like out from behind this waterfall, goes by me and wins the race. I'm like, what the heck, dude? And he's like, yeah, man, there's shortcuts. It's like a shortcut in every course. I'm like, you really gotta teach me how to play this. And we played the crap out of Hydro Thunder that summer. Just such great memories playing Hydro Thunder, man. Like I said, playing it now, it didn't seem to really hold up like I remember, but it doesn't matter. Those memories are there, and even if it's just a nostalgia trick for me, it's one worth taking. So before we get to the game, the big one, here's my honorable mention, the game I said people don't really talk about. This is one of the craziest racing games you're ever going to play. Super Nintendo Uniracers. You're a unicycle. And it's not guys on unicycles. You're legit a unicycle. The only thing I really compare it to is that movie Rubber with the sentient tire. These are like sentient unicycles going on these tracks that look like they're from a Sonic the Hedgehog level. It's freaking crazy and awesome. If you have not played Uniracers, you need to. It's just sort of a 2D type of a thing. It's hard to describe. Look up gameplay footage of it, but more importantly, try and get a copy and play it because it is just a blast, especially if you can play with another person. When I remember seeing advertised as a kid, never got to play because it didn't have a Super Nintendo, but getting it as an adult, it's fantastic, and it's definitely one to get some friends together and play some unit racers at night. So, number 1. I actually told this story earlier today in a Facebook group. So anybody who's here from that group already heard the story today, but we're going to tell it again. So 2012, everything changed for me. I had to move back to Wisconsin to help out with family. I grabbed Thor and whatever I could fit in my car, and that was it. I didn't have a job, I didn't have money, I didn't have anything. So I've been working at Jimmy John's for a couple months. We're still looking for a better job. And I had a little bit of money saved up that wasn't going to car insurance or paying for food for Thor and all this. And I'm talking to a friend on PSN, and I'm like, man, I need a new game to play, but I can't spend a lot of money. I was like, everything I have is just like, right now I'm associating it with my past life. Things are different. I need something new to play. And he's like, hey, this is one of my all-time favorite games. It's on sale right now for like $10. Pick it up. So I did that, because it was a racing game. You knew I liked racing games. And my initial reaction was, I didn't like it. I'd never played anything like this. I didn't understand it. So he actually got in-game with me and was teaching me how to play the game. And it easily went on to become one of my favorite games. I bought it then. I bought it when they remade it. They just re-released the remake on the Switch. And even though I have it on the PS4, I'm like, you know what? If the price ever drops to like 50% or less on a Switch sale, I'll probably buy it for the Switch, even though I have it on the PS4, because I just love the game that much and want to support it. And that is Burnout Paradise. I friggin' love this game. This was my game in 2012. This game got me through a lot. Like, you can't even understand. We're getting in the game with a couple of friends, and we might be doing events. There's all these events you can do. It's like every intersection has a different event, whether it's one of like an actual race or just a time trial, or like I think one was like a chasing one. Ones you're going around just trying to smash all the other cars up as much as you can, and it's like every intersection in the city. Or you could just free drive the city, and some nights we'd get on and let's just do all the races. Let's just do all the whatever the smashing ones were called. I can't remember and like the names of the races. We'll just do the motorcycle events, because they added motorcycles in the DLC. We just do motorcycle events. Sometimes we just get on and be like, you know what? Let's not do any of that. We just drive around the city. One of my best memories from that time, I was playing with my friend Erica, and we went to this one spot that's kind of like on this pier, and there's like ramps there, and we just kept driving back and forth, hitting this ramp, trying to do tricks. And we spent like 4 hours doing that, or just having a conversation. And it's probably the most fun I've ever had doing like legit nothing. It's just, I've not played any other Burnout games. If they're anything like this, I need to play them because they're friggin' awesome. But if I had to recommend even just one game to you from this, Burnout Paradise, again, PS4 remake. It's on they just released it, I believe, on the Switch. I think that's a fairly recent release. Pick that up if you don't have it and you're into this type of game, because you are not going to be disappointed at all. So, those are my 3 racing games and my memories associated with them. Big shout out to Garrett Spencer for inspiring this video. I'm going to link his video in the description, though if you're here, you probably already saw his video. But if you haven't, go check his out now, because Garrett Spencer is freaking awesome. Just like all these games, especially Burnout Paradise. I guess you could say Garrett Spencer's kind of the Burnout Paradise of the racing game videos today. So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Alright, now how do I make you hover?